Hey friends, I hope everyone is doing well today. I wanted to jump on and give a little bit of an update that I alluded to in my last video. I'm not sure what my shirt is doing today, but it's okay. All right, so if you are new here, my name is Rebecca and I am chronicling my breast cancer story here on YouTube, and I am getting ready to go into my 5th round of chemo, which is the Taxotere, carboplatin, Herceptin, and Perjeta regimen, and it has really kicked my butt this time. So that's what I'm going through right now, and if you've watched any of my previous videos, especially the ones right after chemo, I kind of go through my side effects and how I'm dealing with all of that, and it keeps getting more and more intense, which, you know, to be honest and to be fair, that's what my oncologist warned me about, so it's to be expected. But the purpose of this video is to talk about my surgery plan and where I stand with that. So I've talked about how in previous videos where I have met with my original surgeon that was assigned to me when I got diagnosed. And if you go back and watch some videos, I kind of go through how that whole situation unfolded and how I was actually diagnosed and got the correct diagnosis eventually and all of that. And I met with a plastic surgeon that works with that surgeon, with that breast surgeon, at my main hospital where my primary care physician's office and all of that are associated with, and where I do most of my scans, and all of that. So anyways, long story short, I wasn't necessarily confident staying there for surgery and for my reconstruction for various reasons that I've detailed before. They're all very competent. It's not, you know, a hit on that. I think what I have realized with all of this is that it's just really important that you have people that you're comfortable with, and this is like a really personal, you know, situation, right? I mean, I'm getting ready to lose my boobs. They're like part of my body. They've been part of my identity for, I mean, my entire life, I feel like. Definitely a big part of my adult life. I know that sounds weird and people may not understand that, but and I don't know that I have fully like dealt with that yet, right? I mean, it's very interesting because after I've left the plastic surgeon, both plastic surgeons that I have met with during all of this, after I've met with them, I've gone home and just cried. And it's weird because I want to get rid of my boobs. I mean, they're literally trying to kill me right now. And I have big boobs, and I've always said that I wanted them to be smaller. And, you know, I would, if I ever were to get breast cancer, I would get a bilateral mastectomy, no questions asked. And, you know, I've always struggled with the decision not to get a mastectomy or to get a lumpectomy, or why you wouldn't get them both taken off if you have cancer. Before I had cancer, I would have, you know, I just didn't understand. And now that I do have cancer, my opinion has not changed. I mean, I still want them gone. But the emotional baggage that comes with that, I think I have been unprepared for. And honestly, I don't think that I am prepared for right now. I think you'll probably see a video closer to, you know, when I have surgery or afterwards, where I'm probably devastated. And the logical part of my brain right now, that's weird to me. It's weird to me that I have already cried about it. But it's probably not weird to my therapist friends or to, you know, other people probably think that that's normal, and it probably is normal. You know, I think it's unexpected for me. I don't know. That sounds probably weird, but you know, it just is. It is what it is. But anyways, so my point is, this whole experience is very raw and personal, and I think I have said from the beginning, you know, I want to make the right decision. I want a breast surgeon that will get all of the cancer out of me, and if I have any questions going into surgery, maybe that's not a good thing. And just because of my experience with the first surgeon, and the way that played out, whether that's her fault or not, I mean, I'm not saying that it is. My comfort level was kind of compromised at that point. So I wanted a second opinion. So I did get a second opinion for the breast surgeon. And it was someone that is in the same town as me, at a different hospital system. He's done surgery on several people that I know. He's older. He's been around for a while. He might be a little bit old school. So there's some concerns with that too, right? I mean, that's not, you know, that's not always the best thing. But when I met with him, he made a couple of comments that were not necessarily like on par with the research that I've done. My point with that is that he's not like perfect. I'm not trying to compare him to my first surgeon and say, you know, one is way better than the other. I think it's more a comfort level at this point, and I'm comforted by the fact that this person has touched people that I know. He has saved the lives of people that I know personally. And to be completely honest, the only doctor that I have complete faith in or comfort in is my oncologist. He's the reason why I feel comfortable with my decision not to go to other cancer centers like MD Anderson or other places that I was looking into that would be more challenging for my family to figure out if I wasn't getting treated here. My oncologist has been wonderful, and I'm comfortable with him, and I think that he's gonna save my life. And you know, and if something happens and the treatment plan that he's determined doesn't work and we have to go somewhere else, I still feel comfortable in my decision with him. And I've explained my feelings about surgery to him and surgeons, and he knows all of the people and likes all of the people and doesn't think that I could go wrong. But he, I think, is more comfortable with the surgeon that I've chosen. And so I feel comfortable with that. So I met with that breast surgeon. Like I said, his approach is a little bit different. I then met with the plastic surgeon that he works with primarily. And I liked the original plastic surgeon. I had doubts about her before I met with her. I liked her, but she was very much like, this is how I do plastic surgery. I only do implants. I'm not going to discuss anything else. That's what I do. If you want something else, you need to go somewhere else. And, you know, there's different surgeries that you can do for reconstruction. And it's not like getting you know, if you're watching this because you have breast cancer, or you've already gone through reconstruction, or you're getting ready to, you probably already know that, which I didn't realize until I got diagnosed and started going through this, but reconstruction is not like getting a boob job or getting a breast reduction, or your boobs aren't going to necessarily be pretty. It's a totally different process. And there are different ways that you can reconstruct your boobs. So you can get implants, or you can get a flap surgery, which is something that I've had friends that have had flap surgeries, and they really love them. And so I wanted to at least talk about that option for me, if that was an option or not. So I met with another plastic surgeon that works with this breast surgeon that I'm going to use, and she comes highly recommended by a whole bunch of people, and she has assisted with those flap surgeries, and her I think she's a nurse practitioner, met with me, and they went through all of the different options of reconstruction, like what it looks like if you don't have reconstruction, what it looks like if you have implants, what it looks like if you have flap surgery. What I really appreciated was that they were pretty clear about the path for me being, like, right now is I'm just, having the bilateral mastectomy with my breast surgeon, and then they'll come in and put in expanders. And the decision to have implants or a flap surgery doesn't have to be made right now. They can make sure that however they do the surgery, they can give me the best, incisions, I guess, for the best outcome of either one of those surgeries, and without knowing which one to use right now. And, if I decide to get implants and later decide to do a flap or vice versa, that's always a possibility. It really just kind of depends on how you heal, and you just don't really know how to anticipate that. So they just gave me a lot of information that, pros and cons, that made me feel a little bit more comfortable and not necessarily forced at this moment to make the right decision. And I appreciate that, because it's almost like they touched on this like unspoken fear that I have right now with every decision that I am making. Especially, even with my oncologist, who I love, and the decision to stay here in South Carolina and get treatment. I'm so worried. I'm so fearful that I will make the wrong treatment plan decision, and it will impact the outcome. And I think that everybody that has cancer probably feels that way. I am, I have 3 babies, and at the end of the day, those 3 little tiny humans are so important to me, and it is so important that I am here. Oh my goodness. This is a good day, and I was not even thinking that I would tear up. Everything that I do is for them. And for everyone else in my family, but my babies deserve to have their parents here. Whether, both of us. And so I am like hyper aware of that. And so I just want to do everything that I can and get this, freaking kick to the curb so that I can stop traumatizing them and that we can go and live our life and all be stronger because of it. And, my kids are successful and happy and healthy, and they have their mom. And because my mom is like the most important. She's so important to me. My parents are both so important to me. And, my kids' parents, my husband and I are so important to my kids. We need to be there. And, so I just want to make sure I make the right decision. So I could appreciate the conversation that we had, where she and her team just basically reassured me, that we have options, and gave me the information that I need. Information is just so important, and I'm very thankful for that. So, when we went to go meet with the plastic surgeon, and when we met with the breast surgeon, I had not fully committed to changing and going over that route. But what ended up happening was, it really all comes down to timing. Because I like this team, it does not mean that I did not like the other team. And I wasn't 100% sold on either one of them. Like, I don't know that either team is better than the other, if that makes sense. I mean, they probably are both great. But I do like a couple of things. I like that where I'm going, I'm actually going to spend the night in the hospital, which is not how the other team does it. I know that there are trains of thought about, being sent home after that major surgery is better for you or not. Obviously the one that I'm going to go to is going to keep me overnight. And I know that there's risk of infection in hospitals. So there's just different people, different strokes for different folks, I guess. I will say that I am more comforted knowing that I'm going to be in the hospital for a night, because if something does go wrong, or there's a pain issue or a drain issue or whatever, I'm in the hospital. And I've had enough surgery to know that that's probably best for me, because I've had several surgeries and I know how I respond to anesthesia, and how, it's probably better for me and for people taking care of me. So, so that was part of the decision-making process. The other part was the dates. So originally I had, based off of information that my oncologist had said, I had been anticipating that I would have surgery the week of July 8th, which would be 4 weeks after my last chemo. My last chemo is on June 11th. Well, the surgeons that we're going to use could not do that week. They couldn't do the week before, because the week before is the 4th of July. And I guess they do surgeries on Thursdays, so they can't do it then. They cannot do it the week that I had wanted to do it. And it kind of looked like they could only do a surgery towards the end of July. Well, or they could do it at the end of June. June 27th. So that's 16 days after my last chemo. So the question then was, is that too soon after chemo? The surgeons ended up talking to my oncologist. My oncologist does not want me to wait until the end of July to have surgery. And he said that I would be fine to have surgery on June the 27th. So we have scheduled surgery for June the 27th, which is, like I said, 16 days after my last chemo. I'm a little bit nervous about that because, like I've said, my chemo treatments have they've gotten a lot harder for the recovery. Based off of this last chemo, I mean, I was still feeling really crappy 16 days after chemo. So I don't really know what that's going to look like, 2 more chemos. But what I do know is that I want the cancer out of my body, and that will get the cancer out of my body. And we'll just pray that it's all, dead and gone, and I don't have any, the pathology comes back clean, and I don't have any more cancer in me. And that's what I'm praying for, the specific prayer, that, that God has healed me, and that this chemo has healed me, and we get rid of it, and surgery, finishes that off. And then, we still have a long treatment plan to make sure that it doesn't come back, but that's the good thing about having it off in June, so that is what we've done. We've scheduled it for June 27th. Today is May 20th, so we have about 5 weeks, and I will have had 2 chemos and surgery, and hopefully be cancer free. And that's what my goal is. That's what I'm choosing to believe and have faith in, that we're so close to the finish line. That's what I'm choosing to believe. The recovery for the surgery will be tough because I have a 15-month-old son, and he's a mama's boy and likes to be held and likes for me to pick him up, and he loves to cuddle into me, and I think that that's going to be difficult. I'm not going to be able to pick him up for like 6 weeks. He can, once I heal and get my drains out and things like that, they're saying he can crawl in my lap, and I'm sure that he will. But it's, you know, if you're a mom, you know, like, it's hard to not love on your baby. So that's going to be a challenge and really tough. And I hate that. But I keep reminding myself, and all of these things, it's, you know, short-term pain for long-term gain. Like, I want to be here. And that's what I have to do. So, you know, my girls, I think, understand that, or are starting to understand that. You know, a baby, it's a little bit different, but I have a lot of people that will love on him for me, and that means a lot to me. So the recovery. So the recovery will be, I'm going to have drains, and they say that, you know, drains will be anywhere from 1 to 3 weeks, just depending on how my body responds. And then once the drains get pulled out, they'll fill the expanders with saline, I think. Like I said, I have pretty big boobs. I do not want big boobs. I don't know that they really fully understand when I say, like, I don't want, you know, I do not want the same. I want like a third of the same. So they'll fill, I guess once my drains come out, they'll fill it weekly until it gets to where they, you know, where we want it to be. Hopefully that's only a couple of weeks. And then once they're done being expanded or filled with the saline, then I can start radiation. I have to do that first. So we're looking at probably like 5 to 6 weeks before I start radiation after surgery. So that kind of puts us at the beginning of August. And then when I get, you know, when I do radiation, I think that is 5 weeks every day. And when I get that kind of information, I'll update everybody on what that looks like. And then I'll still be doing the targeted therapy. You know, that's the game plan as long as the pathology comes back clean. What I don't know right now is when that will start. Originally, we were going to start that before surgery, but now that my surgery has been moved up, they have told me that it'll probably be a few weeks before I start that after the surgery. So we'll see what that looks like when we get to that point. But right now, you know, I love a plan, and we have a plan. We have 2 more chemo cycles and a surgery date. And then, you know, those are the hardest things. That's what my oncologist said. The hardest part is this hard chemo that I'm on, that is kicking my butt. So the next month or so is going to be really tough with that. And then, you know, surgery recovery and stuff. I mean, that is what it is. So we've got a stretch of weeks here that, you know, I covet your prayers, and I know God has this. I have comfort knowing that the ultimate healer has his hand on me, has his hand on my babies and my husband and my parents and my family, and everyone that has loved on me. And, you know, I get reassured of that daily. So I am very thankful for that. Very thankful. All right. So that's pretty much the update right now. I wanted to post something. I kind of look rough right now, but I feel pretty good today. I've been able to eat this weekend, of course. I think I've probably gained 5 pounds in the last 4 days because I've eaten for the first time in the last 21 days. But that's okay. I feel like I have energy, and I'm ready for tomorrow. Scared for tomorrow, having another chemo, but hey, after tomorrow I only have 1 more, so that's good. yeah, so if you've gone through any of this, if you're watching this video and you've had, you know, this type of surgery, or you're going through it or about to go through it, let me know your thoughts. If you have tips on recovery and special bras. And I have a pillow that was mailed to me from this amazing company that gives out like hope boxes, and so I think that it'll work, and that's kind of cool. So yeah, so if you have any tips, like, leave them in the comments. And you know, if you're going through this, I'm praying for you. Just I mean, I know it's not easy, so it's necessary, but that's okay. All right, well, I will do another update after my next chemo, which is tomorrow. And if, you know, I'll give it a few days or a week or so to see how I'm feeling, and then I'll touch base and give another update. But until then, I hope everyone has a blessed day, wonderful day. It's beautiful outside here, and we will see you then. All right, bye.